So today we're doing our final mock draft, and this is, well, I'm guessing on one trade. A lot of this is going to be predictions more so than who I would take in certain positions. And yeah, we have got 1 through 38. So let's go and be ready for a long video. Obviously, I've done a mock draft a few days ago. There's been a big trade, which actually kind of swung a lot of it, but there are going to be quite a lot of similar things in these two drafts. And obviously what the teams, one player switching or one player being like changes everything for the rest of the draft, especially what teams need and what teams have said is changed coming up towards the draft. So anyway, yeah, we are going to be starting off with the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft from Miami. It's Haley Cavender. Obviously, no, it's Paige Beckers. So we have got Paige in here averaging basically 24 and 4.5 last year. She, out of the totality of the year, if you include the tournament, was probably best player in college. Thankfully, she picked it up towards the end of the tournament. Should be a shoe-in for Rookie of the Year. I think there's a good chance she's the only rookie that starts in this class that starts day 1. So I think Paige is absolutely no question about it. Like, no question about it, the number 1 pick in this draft. And, like, look, if this was me personally, who am I taking number 1? I'm taking the person who I'm drafting, who I think is going to be drafting number 2. But, like, Paige is minus 10,000 in the odds. I've never seen anyone in the history of sports be minus 10,000 to be anything. She's minus 10,000, so she's gone number 1. Then at minus 1,000 for number 2 is Dominique Malonga. But there's a catch. There is a catch. I don't think Dominique Malonga plays for the Seattle Storm. I think she'd be perfect for the Storm, but the more you read about the Storm, the more you hear the teams are trying to trade up with the Storm. The more you hear the Storm are in win now mode. They're trying to win a championship next year because their players, a lot of them could go in free agency. They're trying to win immediately. They're trying to win in 2025. It's not like this whole long-term thing. They are literally trying to win 2025. Malonga's not going to really help you do that, especially maybe not as much as some other players. So I have a feeling there's going to be a trade, and it's going to be with the number 3 pick. And just, I think, to make salaries meet, the number 3 pick, and the person's probably going to come in and start in Carly Samuelson for the number 2 pick. That's my prediction. I'm going number 3 in Carly Samuelson, or it could be number 3 in Emily Engstler. But number 3 and one of the young players could be Sika Kone. Probably not Jade Melbourne back because the Washington Mystics don't have another point guard. But I think the Washington Mystics are going to attach a win now impact player for the Storm with the number 3 pick in order to trade up for Dominique Malonga. Because I think there's probably a team that does not want Dominique Malonga more than Washington. Washington flew her over to work her out. I have a feeling she ends up in Washington, but there's no way in hell she's not going number 2. Because there's going to be, if the Mystics are going to pass, or if the Storm are going to pass on her, they're going to trade with someone else. That is the level that Dominique Malonga is at. So I think Dominique Malonga to the Mystics is going number 2. And then to the Seattle Storm, with the number 3 pick, they are going to take Sonia Citron. Do I think she starts immediately? If they do make the trade that I'm expecting, no. If they make the trade, I think she's going to come off the bench, but she's going to be an impact bench player day 1. I think you can play her with Gabby Williams. You can play her with Jordan Horston in the future. And she's somebody that really is a perfect fit on the wing next to a Jordan Horston. If you're in next year's draft, you have the LA Sparks pick. There's so many guards in next year's draft. You can find your guard for the future in next year's draft. But that wing combo of Jordan Horston and Sonia Citron is going to be really good for the foreseeable. That's going to be a really, really good wing duo. And you've got 2 players that can play defense. You got an unbelievable slasher and athlete in Jordan Horston. And then you've got Sonia Citron, who's a much better shooter. And Sonia Citron can even run the 1 a little bit. So, like, people don't realize she played the 1 for Notre Dame last year, and they got to the Sweet 16 as well. So they were the exact same position with her running the 1 as with Olivia Moss running the 1. And the Storm are a team who they're not, the backup point guard is a position that they are really struggling for, but it is kind of a backup. And if you get a Sonia Citron, who's a plug and play piece just in general, so you look at the team, like obviously Nika Mule's out for the season. You're looking here, like Lexi Brown, you just don't know about her health ever. Erica Wheeler, I mean, Erica Wheeler's Erica Wheeler, I guess. But I do think Citron can come in and give them a little bit of a different look at that backup point guard position with some size there as well. So, yeah, I think Sonia Citron going to go number 3. And my prediction is not to the Washington Mystics. My prediction is she's going to go 3 to the Seattle Storm. So, yeah, that is my number 3 pick. And number 4, somebody that's so huge favorite to get drafted for, and I don't like this pick for Washington. I really don't like this pick for Washington. I think they're going to make a big mistake, but it seems almost guaranteed Kiki Iriafen is going for. I'm looking at the betting odds, and she's like, again, she's like minus 100 to go for. And the second favorite is Citron. Kiki Iriafen, the idea of Kiki Iriafen is better than the player of Kiki Iriafen. Like, this is the most likely bust player in this entire draft. But I'll go with Kiki Iriafen as the number 4 pick in the draft right here, going to the Washington Mystics. So the Mystics might be getting Malonga and Kiki Iriafen with the hope to maybe play Kiki now and Malonga later. Or if the Mystics are smart, trade Shakira Alston while she still has some trade value. And you can start, heck, you can start Malonga. But this team's going to be tanking anyway. So if one of those two hit, like if one of Kiki or like Malonga hit, you're good. You're good. You can afford one of them to be a bust if you draft both of them. With the number 5 pick, the Golden State Valkyries, there's no way they don't. There's just no way they don't draft Anissa Morrow at number 5. Like, she's not actually projected to go number 5. I was looking at mock drafts. So not mock draft, I was looking at the betting odds. And she's not projected to go 5. There's just no way they pass up on Anissa Morrow. I'm sorry. Like, if she's going to keep you in games, she's going to get you extra possessions, especially when you're guards. You've got a bunch of bricklayers as guards. So I genuinely think that Anissa Morrow is going to be that. She's the best rebounder in the draft. She plays the highest motor in the draft. She's a versatile defender. And expect her to start day 1 because I don't know if Temi comes over day 1, to be honest. So expect her to start. Like, I think she might be able to start initially, and you can build a team around her, but she could be a really good player long term for them. With the number 6 pick, the Washington Mystics, they have the pick, and they have 1 point guard. They have 1 point guard, and again, I'm going to take the player that they actually have as the odds. Like, the odds say this the favorite to go number 5. So clearly, the way she's being talked about, the knee issue is not that big a deal. And you're going to see what ends up happening in the draft with Cheyenne Sellers. If she goes top 5 or 6, or even top 7, her knee issue is fine. If she falls to the second round, her knees are the problem. Like, her knees pretty much stopped working at times last season. And you could see, depending on the game, like 21-2, 12, 28-10. Like, she's had some really good games, some really bad games. Not a volume 3-point shooter, but wasn't a bad one off the ball. Very turnover prone. She can kind of run the 1. And I think she's a big she's a prototypical future big guard who can play on the wing. I do see her coming in if she's drafted by the Mystics playing point guard though. So for the Connecticut Sun, I still think that the Connecticut Sun are going to draft Hailey Van Lith. Like, everyone's projecting Georgia Amore to go here. I don't think Georgia Amore, the way Georgia Amore plays the game, unless Rashad Mazian is bringing in a completely new system to how he's played in Europe and with the Belgian national team, unless unless he's changing his entire system. Hailey Van Lith fits his system more than Georgia Amore. And heck, Juice Jacite might fit the system even better than Georgia Amore. But I'm still going Hailey Van Lith. I think they're going to take a really big swing on this, and I think the Sun just need to put butts in seats next year just because of losing their whole team. And I think Hailey Van Lith, starting point guard, will definitely do that coming into the next season. So I think she's going to go at number 7. And at number 8, I think they're going to take a big, big risk here. And this is a player that obviously, again, is a risk. It's Connecticut Sun again. I think they're going to take Jacite. I think the long-term goal is going to be to have Jacite at point guard. I think that's going to be the long-term goal for this team. She kind of fits the system. She's taller than 6'1". This was the height she was listed at when she was 14. She put up 17 points per game in Eurobasket qualifiers. And I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, for him, is he still the Belgium coach? Is he still the because if he's still the Belgium coach, she cooked him. Yeah. So he's still the Belgian coach as far as I'm aware. And she absolutely cooked Belgium. Like, she gave Belgium, maybe he's not the Belgian coach, but yeah, so obviously he left the job when he took the Connecticut Sun job, but like, she destroyed Belgium. She was the best player on the court. I don't think she's getting past the Connecticut Sun. And number 9, the LA Sparks I have the Sparks taking a player they probably don't expect to be on the board at this stage. And I think they're going to take a player that may not get the most burn straight away, but I think they're going to take Georgia Amore. Like, I think they're cool with just getting rid of Odyssey Sims. Like, I genuinely do think that teams are absolutely fine with getting rid of an Odyssey Sims, because every freaking team did it last year. So with Georgia Amore, they've got maybe their starting point guard, or if they start Odyssey Sims at the 1, like, there's a chance they could start Odyssey Sims at 1 and they could play Kelsey Plum at the 2. I know Kelsey Plum wants to play at the 1, but Georgia Amore, quote unquote true point guard, good passer, she can score a bit. And yeah, the only problem is she's going to be 25 years old during her rookie year, but I mean, that doesn't seem to put WNBA teams off. So I'm going to say Georgia Amore is going 9. At number 10, we have got the Chicago Sky, and I think they're going to take, with one of their picks, I think they're going to draft Te-Hina Paopao. I think they're going to take Te-Hina Paopao. And I think a lot of people are going to project Sanaya Rivers here. And I really had to think, I'm like, what are they going to do? Are they going to take Paopao? Are they going to take Sanaya Rivers at this position? And it was an interesting one. Maybe it was Van Lith, what they were going to do with the pick when they had it. But you know what the good thing is? The Chicago Sky now have got 2 picks in a row. So instead of just taking Te-Hina Paopao or Sanaya Rivers, why not both? They've got their long, rangy wing. The problem is they want 3-point shooting, but they also like the athleticism on the wings. Sanaya Rivers comes in as a lockdown perimeter player who hopefully maybe she figures out how to shoot the ball. That would be a happy situation for the Sky if she figures out how to shoot the ball. But even still, Sanaya Rivers going in here at number 11. 10, 11, same difference. And at number 12, I have a feeling that the Dallas Wings, because they've got a lot of picks in this draft, and they actually have a lot of players. Like, if you look at them, they have a lot of players, and I actually think they're going to take from Slovenia, I think they're going to take Aja Sivka. They take Aja Sivka, who is not quite there as far as being a WNBA player right now, but I think it's a risk worth taking. It's a risk worth taking for a 19-year-old 6'4" sharpshooter who may not come over right away. You may not need her right away, isn't going to be good right away, but that type of player, you can't go wrong. You genuinely cannot go wrong with that type of player. If we're purely just talking basketball. So now we are on to the second round, and with the 13th pick, the Aces are going to be happy with this one. They're going to be very happy because this Aces team does not really have a backup point guard. They've no size, no big wings on the bench at all either. Their bench is centers and a bunch of undersized guards, so they will be delighted to see Serena Sondel there at 13. Serena Sondel can score a little bit, can shoot a little bit, is a fantastic passer, can run the 1. especially if Chelsea Gray doesn't play all those 40 games. She can come in and start at the 1, is a passable defender. And, Jesus, in her junior year, she shot 40% from 3 and 60% from the line. But she's not too turnover prone, can score the ball when needed. And for the Aces, you just need somebody to come in, play a role. She's big enough to play the 1, 2, or 3. And with that Aces team, they just have no bench depth. So I say the Aces will be delighted that that she is there. And then for the Dallas Wings, I think they just need someone that maybe can slide in a center a little bit. Because their backup center right now is Maisha Hines-Allen. So I'm going to say they're going to take Sanaya Fagan. So in my original draft, I had them taking Ashley Barker. And I think if you're going to take Aisha Sivka, there's no real point. There's no real need for Ashley Barker. I think Sanaya Fagan can come in and give them something. Just give them something off the bench, grab a few boards, score sometimes if needed. She can hit her free throws, not really spread the floor too much, but solid defender as well. I think she could be a very, very, very decent player in the WNBA, and I think an early second round pick is the right place for her. But this is why I think the Minnesota Lynx might be happy, with trading the freaking pick in the first round. Sarah Ashley Barker. If they can somehow get Sarah Ashley Barker, 6-foot wing, who is a elite shooter, 2 steals a game, nearly 1 block per game. If they get her a 15, and we look at the Lynx team right here, and they have, obviously, you have Bridget Carlton, who came in as a super defender. Kayla McBride, the starting 5 is like untouchable. But you're like, is Diamond Miller gonna recover? Is she gonna recover from the injury? I don't know. But they've got no wing depth at all. Like, I still think Grace Berger is a point guard. I don't think they have any real wing depth off the bench. And if you saw last year, Chechi Zandalasini was such a big player for that team in the playoffs. And if you're replacing Zandalasini with Ashley Barker, I don't think you're losing much. I think she could go higher, but if they can manage to get her at 15, it's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. Number 16, I am predicting the Chicago Sky to take a player, the exact same players I predicted in my previous mock drafts. And it's just pure, in terms of just pure fit, I think that Maddie Westbell works out. Their GM has talked about her. Their GM wants wings. He wants size. He wants shooting. And you kind of can get all of that in, you can kind of get that with Maddie Westbeld. Again, a bad super senior season, but she had a real good senior season. So she's coming off an injury, bit of a weird scenario in Notre Dame. So I don't know, had the ball in her hands a lot less. It's sure I just don't know. I don't know if it's because she had a big time progression and was unbelievable as a freshman. Maddie Westbeld again would have been a potential first rounder last year. And I don't know if I'm going to look too far into a bad super senior season. But, yeah, I'm going to have the Chicago Sky taking her with the 16th pick. At the 17th pick, I'm going to still stay with the same thing. The Golden State Valkyries need somebody to sell jerseys that's not Kate Martin. They need someone else to sell jerseys and someone to get the fans excited. I think Lucy Olsen from Iowa. I think that's a smart player to pick up. I think during Eurobasket, she might play the 1. Very much became a very good combo guard. And for me, I put her a little bit ahead of like an Isaiah James in terms of just ability. But again, you might, if you think Isaiah James is better, that's fine. I really liked what Lucy Olsen did last year. Watched her a lot at Iowa. And maybe there is a bias there that I watched her a lot more. But yeah, I'm going to take her at 17. At number 18, we're going to take, for the Atlanta Dream, they have got no athleticism at all at center. None at all. Like Bree Jones and Brittany Griner are the 2 slowest footed centers in the WNBA, are their 2 centers. I know they have Naz Hillman, more of a 4, but I'll give them Rhea Marshall. Giving them a defender. And I do think that game against UConn, where, like, obviously her stats were down this year because Kiki Iriafem was there. But I think that game against UConn showed that it's like, okay. She has a little bit more game than we thought. And like a 23-15 game against UConn, and they gave them UConn the closest game in the tournament. I think that's going to push Rhea Marshall way up on draft boards. At number 19, for me, it's a obvious one. If this player is on the board, the Indiana Fever are going to take Anastasia Kosu. Anastasia Kosu, playing in the Russian league, 19 years old. Again, did not have a good game a couple of days ago, but still averaging nearly 10 points per game in a pretty decent league. Freakish athleticism. Might be the most athletic player in this draft. An elite defender. If she was a freshman in college this year, we'd be looking at her as one of the best freshmen in the nation. And if you can get her with the 19th pick, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. And I think I had in my original mock draft, I had Bree Hall. But if Isaiah James is available, you're taking Isaiah James the 20th pick. This is a player that could honestly go anywhere from 7 to 24. You just need to see how it plays out. But Isaiah James was fantastic in the last season as well, in their Final Four run. And the NC State, did they make the Elite Eight? This was the Elite Eight they lost in this year? I can't remember. But either way, they won. Yeah. Or was it the Sweet 16? They lost to LSU. I think it was the Sweet 16. Either way, doesn't really matter. They lost in a close game. She was not great in that game at all, but had been fantastic in other games. Was big in them winning the ACC tournament, and she's just been, or was the ACC tournament? She was big in them getting to the final of the ACC tournament, and then kind of got injured in the final and struggled a little bit. But look, Isaiah James is a hooper. She's a bucket getter. What she did when Notre Dame got to number 1, the way she played in that game to beat them was unbelievable. 20, Indiana Fever will be happy to take her at number 20. At number 21, we have the LA Sparks. And I think the LA Sparks are going to take... It's an interesting one with the Sparks, because I don't know if they're trying to win now or not, to be honest. I really don't know if they're trying to win now, but I'm going to predict that the LA Sparks are going to take Michaela Timpson from Florida State. So Timpson is a forward, was obviously averaging 17 and 10. He's going to rebound, not much of a shooter, but a very, very good defender. And this is a team that needs defense. They need defense, and especially in this iteration of the mock draft, they don't take Sanaya Rivers. They need defense. They don't have it. They don't have it at all. So I think Michaela Timpson is not going to be a bad option at all to end up getting. I think that look, Florida State were a decent team last year. Obviously, best player was Tanaya Latson, but yeah, I think you're getting good value taking her here at 21 if you are the LA Sparks. At number 22, the Chicago Sky are on the board, and I'm predicting the Chicago Sky to just, again, look for solid defense, size, wings, winning, and I think they're going to go for another South Carolina player. I think they're going to go for Bree Hall. I think Bree Hall shoots the ball, knows what she does well, knows how to win, knows how to be a big player on a winning team. And just like Tina Paopao had an off senior season, well, super senior season, Tina Paopao's case, but after a fantastic year in the undefeated season, I think that they're going to take Bree Hall. I think they're going to take the 2 of the South Carolina players because it gives them more shooting, and it's going to be an interesting one, making the team, because I'm just looking at the Chicago Sky roster, and it's these 3 picks could all make the team, and you just never know with any of these other players who's going to make it. So right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they have 13. So one of these is going to be gone anyway, and then of the 3 draft picks. So I'm guessing Birch, Garantes, Wilson gone, and then one of the draft picks isn't going to make the team. Well, to be fair, they actually have 4 draft picks now. So maybe she's not going to make the team, but I think she could be there to fight it out. And who knows, maybe in, preseason and training camp, she just beats out Sanaya Rivers. She beats out Amadi Westbelt. Because you just never know what they're going to end up doing. With the 23rd pick, I'm going to predict that the Washington Mystics take J.J. Quinterly from West Virginia. So J.J. Quinterly, a 20-point per game scorer, Do I think she makes the roster? Not really. But if she does, she can hit shots. She can create her own shot. And again, a little bit of an off-season shooting percentage-wise this year compared to last year. Was a very good player for West Virginia. I predicted them to do a bit better than they did. But yeah, her going at 23. And number 24, I'm going to predict that the Lynx, they just don't need to take anybody. So I think they're just going to take a expansion draft bait player in Annika Soltau and hope that an expansion team takes Soltau. That's kind of my prediction. They're not really going to have any use for her. Isn't going to make the roster, and instead of just cutting her, they can send her, they can stash her, and her rights can be used in the expansion draft. I think they're just going to use her as expansion draft bait, to be honest. And then at number 20, what are we at now? We are at 25, sorry. I'm going to actually, a player that might end up making the roster for the Sun, I think they're going to just go local. I think they're going to take Caitlin Chen. I think she's, again, was very good at Princeton. I thought she was really good at UConn. Like, I actually genuinely think she was really good at UConn. She only averaged 7 points per game, but I'm sorry, like, South Carolina have proven you can average 7 points per game for a national champion team and be a first-round pick. So why not Caitlin Chen, who was exceptional for a national championship winning team? And she started off, she didn't shoot well in the championship game, but she was so good against USC. And she started off like 4 assists in the first 5 minutes of the game. Like, I thought she was really good for UConn. I actually don't think that it's a bad pickup at all, especially at the end of the second round. And now we're on to the third round. We're just going to quickly go through these players. And, like, I could be very wrong with these. I'm just taking guesses, and I definitely could have forgot somebody. So I'm going to guess the Storm take Aaliyah Nye. Purely, super senior. She's lights out. She shoots 45% from 3. Like, she averages 15 points per game on a stupidly high 3-point shooting percentage. Seattle Storm end up taking her. The Dallas Wings, with the 27th pick, are going to take a player that I'd be interested to see again how she gets on in that scenario, but taking from Harvard, Harmony Turner. So Harmony Turner was one of the leading scorers in the nation, but obviously she was in Harvard. And a lot of people actually had Harvard beating Michigan State because Michigan State sucked. They really sucked in the tournament, but they did win the Ivy League finals, and she had 44 points in a 3-point win against Princeton. She's a hooper, an absolute hooper, but I don't know if she makes a roster, and that Harvard degree might come in more in handy than the basketball. But again, Harmony Turner's a hooper, maybe just not making a roster as a rookie, to be honest. A few years overseas, I do think she can make a roster, maybe not straight away. Then we have got, with the LA Sparks, just Liatu King. Like, I don't think it's she is 6 foot tall, grabs boards, played center at times last year. Not the greatest super senior season. Obviously, like, she was fantastic at Pitt, not the greatest at Notre Dame, but yeah. Let's have King going in here at 28. At 29, we have got from TCU, and the second TCU player to be drafted. Obviously, there is another TCU player that I've not yet predicted to be drafted. Madison Connor, like, super senior season, not young. Like, she's like, what age is Madison Connor? Does not have her age there, but like, she's a sniper. She's a sniper, and you can never have too much shooting. And like, with a 3rd round pick for the Seattle Storm when they have 2 3rd round picks, why not? I guess. At number 20, at number 30, the Golden State Valkyries take somebody that you probably want. If you're one of these 3rd round pick players where you want, like, the Valkyries or something to draft you, take Tamira Poindexter from Kansas State. Again, when she gets hot, she does not miss. Like, she can be fantastic from 3. Like, she was unbelievable against Kentucky, but then she can be non-existent like she was against USC. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. I think she's going to be drafted, but I have her going 30. At 31, we have got from UCLA, Angela Dugalich. So, she is, again, a solid player, decent shooter, got really good height, hit some big shots in some big games, like, but quiet in a lot of games. And yeah, let's have her going late in the third round. At the for the Mystics at 32, we have got from Auburn. ESPN have rated her as like a top 15 player in college. I don't really get that. Like, I understand, obviously, the stats are the stats, but you've got Deanna Gatson, who's obviously her super senior season at Auburn, was there at Texas, was fine at Texas, was fine, and then obviously goes to Auburn, where she really looked good, but a 6'2" non-shooter, in a super senior season, I don't really see her making the team. And then, again, I think this is a player that could fight it out if you're the Fever. I don't think he's going to make the team, but I think Destiny Adams might not be a bad shout. Like, Rutgers was a weird one. Like, Rutgers at times looked good, and then at times, like, looked horrendous. Like, she averaged like 17 and 10. She really struggled earlier on in her career at North Carolina. But obviously with Destiny Adams, she started off the season on fire. Like, if you looked at how she played, like, if you're looking at her games, she was putting up 30 and 15, 36 and 22, 28 and 11 against bad teams. And then Rutgers just went on this massive losing streak. Like, I was shocked at how bad Rutgers ended up being. Because I saw Rutgers in a few games, and I was like, I saw them even against Ohio State, and I'm like, they don't look that bad. Wisconsin weren't that bad. And then we lost by 2, and I'm like, it was just as soon as, what's her name, Keomi McMiller got suspended for this game against USC, their whole season was just like, oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? They hardly won another game. And losing to Nebraska by 24, like, that's not good. That was not good at all. So, yeah, I still think she's a dog on rebounds. She plays with a high motor, can score a bit, but I don't think it's bad. It would be a bad option for the Fever to take her, to be honest. She's not going to make the team, but might fight it out. And then we have Yvonne Ejim. I just know she's the leading all-time scorer at Gonzaga. Average 20 and 10. Like, 34th pick. Why not? Why not? And at the 35th pick, I've got Jewel Spear from Tennessee. Thought she was fine at Tennessee this year. Super senior season, 12.5 points. Tennessee were a lot better than people gave them credit for. Like, Tennessee were really close with Texas. In that game, they killed Ohio State. And you can't forget, like, yeah, I know they lost to Vanderbilt in the SEC tournament, but, like, they beat UConn. So, obviously that does mean something. And, again, good player on a good team. Especially, like, after transferring to Tennessee from Wake Forest, nothing really changed. But then we have got, at 36, we have got Madison Scott. I just typed in her name to get her stats, and obviously there is another Madison Scott. But, yeah, she played for Ole Miss. Ole Miss, again, were pretty good this year. Way better than I think anyone thought they were going to be. And, yeah, they lost to UCLA early, but I still thought they were pretty decent. They lost in Sweet 16, did they? Okay, they beat Baylor. They lost Sweet 16. And again, they almost beat a USC game 1. So, yeah, not a bad team. And then at 30, what are we at? Obviously, 36 is the Atlanta Dream, her going there. At 37, the Minnesota Lynx. I think this is where the lottery has been lost. This is the team that is losing the Sedona Prince lottery. I think the Sedona Prince lottery is going to be lost by the Minnesota Lynx. Reason why? They don't have enough size. I like Dorka Juhas, but like outside of Dorka Juhas, they do not have enough size. They need bigs. Like, they got Badian, but they need more size. So I think somebody's going to have to lose the lottery. Someone's going to have to lose the Sedona Prince lottery. And I think the Sedona Prince lottery is going to be lost by the Minnesota Lynx with the second last pick of the draft. And the last pick of the draft, I think they might just, like, nobody's making the freaking team for the Liberty. Maybe they will, but why not? I'm just saying, why not? If Haley Cavender to the New York Liberty, why not just take Haley Cavender? She's a hoop. She can hoop. Like, I know she took a year off basketball, but she still came back and averaged 18.2 points. Like, she played for Miami for that year, averaged 12. Came back even better this season. I get it. She's old, but I'm sorry. She's like couple of months older than Georgia Amore. She's not that old. She's still like nearly a year younger than, what's her name? Jesus, I'm blanking. I'm blanking on Sedona Prince, who's the last pick. She's still like a year younger than Sedona Prince, so why not just take Haley Cavender? And again, I know I'm looking at news and everything's about the TikToks. I don't even know if she's going to be in the draft, but why not? Just why not? You don't have to declare for the draft in the WNBA. Why not just take Haley Cavender? That was maybe the stupidest thing that I've done in this draft. But you know what? People called me crazy when I predicted I've had Dominique Malonga going number 2 in this draft as my prediction. Well, Dominique Malonga going top 3 in this draft indefinitely. And a year ago predicting Malonga number 2. So either way, yeah, that is the video. That is my final mock draft today of the draft. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.